In a distant part of the galaxy, the Galactic Empire had long been curious about Earth and its people. They had heard stories about humans, stories of bravery, creativity, and unpredictability. Some said humans were fierce warriors, while others claimed they were just strange and primitive. But one thing was clear: the Empire knew little about them. To understand humans better, the Empire decided to hold a meeting. An alien diplomat named Zorak was chosen to represent the Empire. Zorak was confident. He wore a shimmering blue robe and had sharp features that made him look important. He thought he could easily impress the humans with his knowledge and power. "They will see how superior we are," he said to his colleagues, who nodded, feeling a mix of excitement and fear. The meeting was set on a neutral planet named Tryon, known for its beautiful landscapes and peaceful atmosphere. The sky was a bright shade of purple, and colorful plants danced in the gentle breeze. The aliens arrived early, eager to see the humans. They imagined the humans would be intimidated by their advanced technology and alien forms. As the hour approached, Zorak and his team stood in a grand meeting hall built from sparkling crystal. It was designed to impress, with tall columns and bright lights. The aliens whispered to each other, sharing their thoughts on how the meeting would go. They laughed, imagining how the humans would bow down before them. Finally, the moment arrived. The humans entered the hall, and the aliens were taken aback. The humans looked ordinary, wearing simple clothing and showing no signs of fear. They walked confidently, chatting among themselves, seemingly unfazed by the alien surroundings. Zorak felt a twinge of doubt, but quickly brushed it away. "Welcome, esteemed representatives of Earth," Zorak declared, raising his voice with pride. "We are here to discuss the future of our two species." A human named Captain Sarah stepped forward. She had short brown hair and bright green eyes that sparkled with determination. "Thank you for having us," she replied, her voice steady. "We're excited to be here and learn more about you." Zorak was impressed by her confidence. He launched into a speech about the Galactic Empire's achievements, bragging about their advanced technology and vast territories. But as he spoke, he noticed the humans exchanging glances. They looked amused, not impressed. When Zorak finished, Captain Sarah raised her hand. "That sounds interesting, but can you tell us how you treat your own people? What about your ethics?" Zorak's smile faded. He had not expected this question. "Our ethics? We follow the law of the Empire, and our people are loyal and obedient," he replied, a bit defensive. "Loyalty is important, but what about freedom?" Sarah pressed on. "Do your people have a say in their lives?" The aliens exchanged uneasy looks. Zorak felt a surge of anger. "We provide stability," he insisted. "Our ways are for the greater good." The atmosphere shifted. The humans frowned, and whispers filled the room. Zorak noticed their expressions change from curiosity to concern. He could sense the tension rising. Suddenly, an alien named Jax, a large creature with 4 arms, made a joke about humans being too emotional. He thought it would lighten the mood, but instead it backfired. The humans looked offended, and Sarah's eyes narrowed. "That's not funny," she said sharply. Zorak's heart raced. He hadn't expected the humans to take offense so quickly. The mood had changed drastically. He realized that his confident demeanor was slipping away. As the meeting continued, misunderstandings piled up. The aliens and humans struggled to communicate effectively. The aliens assumed their technology and power would impress the humans, but instead, they were met with skepticism and strength. The humans were not afraid. By the end of the meeting, both sides were frustrated. Zorak's mind raced with confusion. "We have made a grave mistake," he thought. The aliens had underestimated the humans, and now they were facing the consequences of their arrogance. Little did Zorak know, this was just the beginning of a much larger conflict, one that would test the limits of both species. The true nature of humans was about to be revealed, and the Galactic Empire was not prepared for the risks of provoking them. As the meeting continued, the air grew tense. Zorak felt uneasy but tried to keep his cool. He glanced at his fellow aliens, who looked just as confused. The humans seemed different from what they had imagined. Instead of being submissive, they were assertive and challenging. Zorak decided to change his approach. He thought maybe showing strength would help. Just then, another alien diplomat, a small creature named Vex, leaned in and whispered to Zorak. "You need to show them we are in control. Use a show of force." Vex's eyes sparkled with excitement. Zorak hesitated. He knew the humans had strong feelings, but he felt pressured to prove their superiority. With newfound determination, Zorak stood taller and addressed the humans. You should understand that we are not just here for a friendly chat. We are powerful and we expect you to respect our strength. The humans exchanged looks, but Sarah, still composed, replied, "Respect is earned, not demanded. We came here to talk, not to be threatened." Her tone was firm, and Zorak could sense her growing anger. Unbeknownst to Zorak, Sarah's patience was wearing thin. She had heard enough. "We believe in cooperation, but your arrogance is concerning," she added, her voice steady. "This kind of talk doesn't build trust." Frustrated, Zorak retorted, "You humans think you are clever, but we have technologies and resources you can't even imagine. If you challenge us, you will regret it." Suddenly, an alien named Grak, known for his brute strength, stood up. He was one of the Empire's enforcers, and he often resorted to intimidation. "If you want respect, we can show you what happens when you disobey," he shouted, his voice booming in the hall. At that moment, the atmosphere changed drastically. The humans felt the threat in Grak's words. Sarah, angered by the alien's aggression, stepped forward, her eyes blazing with determination. "We won't be intimidated by threats. We will stand for ourselves." With a swift motion, she turned to her team and said, "Prepare for a demonstration of human resilience." Zorak, realizing the gravity of the situation, tried to calm things down. "Let's not escalate this. We can discuss our differences without violence," he pleaded. But the tension had already reached a boiling point. In a moment of chaos, Grak advanced toward Sarah. He raised his arm to show his strength, but the humans were not afraid. With lightning speed, Sarah took a step back and shouted, "Back off! You don't scare us!" This outburst shocked the aliens. They had underestimated the humans' bravery. Grak hesitated, unsure of how to react. The hall filled with murmurs as both sides stared at each other, waiting for the next move. Just then, a loud bang echoed through the hall. A human trying to calm the situation accidentally knocked over a piece of equipment. It crashed to the ground, causing everyone to jump. The sound added to the confusion and tension, amplifying the chaos. Grak, feeling threatened, swung his arm toward the human. But before he could react, Sarah quickly grabbed a nearby object, a holographic device. With a flick of her wrist, she activated it, projecting a stunning image of Earth's landscapes and cultures. "This is what we stand for!" she declared, her voice rising above the noise. Not threats or violence, but beauty and unity. The aliens were taken aback. They had never seen such passion from humans before. Zorak realized they had made a huge mistake by trying to scare the humans. Instead of showing strength, they had only shown their ignorance. The humans felt empowered. They rallied together, showing their resolve. Sarah looked at her team and nodded. "We need to stand united. We will not let them bully us," she whispered. Zorak knew the situation was spiraling out of control. The misunderstandings had created a chasm between the two sides, and both were standing on the edge of a dangerous conflict. The Empire had underestimated humans, and now they were about to pay the price. As tensions simmered, Zorak could see the risk of provoking humans. The encounter was not just a meeting, it was a turning point. He realized that to understand humans, they would have to let go of their arrogance and embrace a new way of thinking. The lesson would come at a high cost if they didn't change course soon. The atmosphere in the grand meeting hall had become electric, filled with tension and uncertainty. Zorak could feel the weight of the moment pressing down on him. The humans were no longer just curious visitors. They had transformed into a united front. Captain Sarah stood tall, her eyes fierce and unwavering. She would not back down, and Zorak could see the determination radiating from her. "Let's take a step back," Zorak urged, hoping to defuse the situation. "This isn't the time for conflict. We came here to talk." But his words seemed to fall on deaf ears, as Grak, still seething with anger, took a step forward, muscles tense and ready for confrontation. "You think you can stand up to us?" Grak sneered, his voice low and threatening. The humans stood their ground, but inside they were worried. They had never faced a creature like Grak before. His strength was evident, and the room was filled with an unsettling silence. "Enough!" Sarah shouted, her voice echoing through the hall. "We will not be intimidated." "You are making a big mistake by underestimating us," Grak growled, clearly annoyed. "Then show us what you can do, human. Prove you're more than just loud words." The challenge hung in the air, thick and heavy. Zorak's heart raced. He knew things were spiraling out of control. He looked at the humans. who were now preparing for a potential fight. This was not how diplomacy was supposed to work. Sarah turned to her team, her expression resolute. If they want a demonstration, let's show them what humanity can do. We won't back down! Just then, an idea sparked in her mind. Let's give them a real taste of our abilities, she said, her voice firm. We'll organize a competition. No weapons, just skills. Zorak's eyes widened. This was unexpected. A competition? He thought it might be a way to avoid violence. But Grak laughed loudly, thinking it was a joke. You think your games can challenge us? You are foolish. We'll see about that, Sarah replied, her determination only growing. The humans quickly began organizing the competition, transforming the grand hall into an arena of sorts. They set up challenges that would test both physical and mental strength. Zorak stood back, unsure of what to do. He watched as the humans prepared with enthusiasm, their fear replaced by a strong sense of purpose. This is insane, he thought. We could be stepping into a trap. The competition began, starting with a test of strength. A human named Mark faced off against Grak, who towered over him. The aliens roared with laughter, thinking Grak would easily win. But Mark was agile and quick. He used his speed and wits to dodge Grak's attacks, surprising everyone. The crowd gasped as Mark grabbed Grak's arm and used his own weight against him, bringing the larger alien down to the ground. The laughter stopped. Zorak felt a chill run down his spine. The humans were proving to be more capable than he had ever imagined. They were not just clever, they were resilient. As the challenges continued, humans showcased their skills in various ways. Some demonstrated teamwork and strategy, while others displayed intelligence and creativity. The aliens watched in shock as the humans consistently outperformed their expectations. But as the competition progressed, Grak's anger grew. He felt humiliated by Mark's earlier defeat. His pride was on the line, and he wanted revenge. As the final event approached, Grak issued a challenge. I will face any human in a one-on-one fight. We will see who is superior. Sarah stepped forward, her heart pounding. She could feel the weight of the moment on her shoulders. I will take you on, she declared, her voice steady. But remember, this is not about violence. It's about proving ourselves. Grak's eyes sparkled with fury and excitement. Then let's finish this, he roared. The crowd erupted in cheers and jeers, and tension crackled in the air. As Sarah prepared to face Grak, Zorak watched nervously. He realized that the spark of conflict had ignited, and the situation was slipping further out of control. What had started as a diplomatic meeting was turning into something much more dangerous. He could only hope that it would not lead to violence, but he feared the worst. The stage was set for a showdown. Both sides were on edge, knowing that one wrong move could lead to an all-out war. Zorak took a deep breath, understanding that the true nature of humans was about to be revealed. The risks of provoking them were greater than anyone had anticipated. The atmosphere was thick with anticipation as Sarah and Grak squared off in the makeshift arena. The crowd of aliens and humans alike held their breath, waiting to see what would happen next. Sarah stood tall, her heart racing, knowing this was not just a fight. It was a moment that could change everything. Grak snarled, his eyes filled with rage. You think you can defeat me? I am the strongest of my kind, he bellowed, flexing his massive muscles. We'll see about that, Sarah replied, trying to keep her voice steady. She took a deep breath, focusing on her training and the lessons she had learned. This was not about strength alone, it was about skill, strategy, and the will to win. The referee, a small alien with a shiny blue skin tone, stepped back and raised his arms. On my mark, go! With that, the fight began. Grak lunged forward, aiming a powerful punch at Sarah. She ducked just in time, feeling the air rush past her. The crowd gasped. Sarah knew she had to stay light on her feet. She darted to the side, avoiding another blow that could have easily knocked her out. As the fight continued, Sarah found her rhythm. She sidestepped Grak's strikes, using her agility to her advantage. The crowd cheered, and for the first time, Zorak felt a flicker of hope. Maybe the humans could turn this around after all. But Grak was relentless. He charged again, trying to overpower Sarah with brute force. He caught her off guard, sending her sprawling to the ground. For a moment, silence fell over the arena. Sarah felt a jolt of pain, but quickly pushed herself back up. Is that all you've got? Grak taunted, breathing heavily. He was confident, but Sarah saw a glimmer of fatigue in his eyes. She knew he was not invincible. With renewed determination, Sarah fought back. She used her surroundings to her advantage, moving swiftly around the arena and striking at Grak's legs. She aimed low, hoping to weaken his stance. The crowd erupted into cheers as she landed a few solid hits. But then, in a moment of rage, Grak charged forward again. This time, he was determined to end the fight. Sarah braced herself, ready to dodge, but the blow was too fast. Grak knocked her to the ground once more. This time, pain shot through her body and she gasped for breath. Zorak felt a knot of fear in his stomach. Would Sarah get up this time? The tension was unbearable. The crowd waited in silence, unsure of what to expect next. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Sarah rose to her feet again, her spirit unbroken. The humans cheered, their voices a chorus of support. "You can do it," they shouted. Fueled by their encouragement, Sarah faced Grak one last time. She saw the weariness in his stance and seized the opportunity. With a powerful kick, she swept Grak's feet from under him. The mighty alien fell to the ground with a heavy thud, and the arena erupted in a mixture of cheers and gasps. Zorak couldn't believe his eyes. Sarah had done it. Grak lay on the floor, stunned and unable to rise. The humans were celebrating, their spirits high. They had faced the powerful alien and won. But as the cheers continued, Zorak's heart sank. He could see the look of humiliation on Grak's face. This victory might not be a cause for celebration for the aliens. Zorak knew that pride had a way of turning allies into enemies. As the crowd quieted, Zorak stepped forward, sensing the tension still lingering in the air. "This is a time for reflection," he said, his voice calm but firm. "We must learn from this. We can't let pride blind us. Let's build a future together, not as enemies but as partners." Sarah, breathing heavily, nodded in agreement. "We came here seeking peace. Let's not lose sight of that," she said, looking at the gathered crowd. The aliens murmured amongst themselves, realizing the truth in their words. Grak slowly got up, his expression filled with anger and shame. But instead of lashing out, he looked at Sarah and nodded. "You have earned my respect, human," he admitted, his voice low. The crowd erupted into applause, a mix of relief and excitement filling the hall. Zorak smiled, feeling hope blossom. Perhaps this was the moment they had all been waiting for. As the dust settled, both sides began to understand the importance of cooperation and respect. The aftermath of the fight had ignited a spark of change, opening the door for a new alliance. But Zorak knew that they had to tread carefully. They were at a crossroads, and the path they chose would define their future together. The risks of provoking humans had been made clear. Now, it was time to turn that lesson into a foundation for a better relationship. The grand hall buzzed with chatter as the aliens and humans began to mingle after the fight. The tension that had once filled the air was slowly fading, replaced by a sense of curiosity and cautious respect. Zorak watched from the sidelines, his heart lifting as he observed the transformation happening before his eyes. Sarah, still catching her breath from the intense battle, moved through the crowd with a sense of purpose. She smiled at her fellow humans, who were filled with pride and excitement. "We did it!" one of them shouted. "We stood up to them." But Sarah knew the battle was far from over. They had shown strength, but true victory would come from finding common ground. As she looked around, she noticed Grak standing off to the side, his expression still dark. He seemed lost in thought, and she decided it was time to reach out. "Grak!" Sarah called, approaching the towering alien. He turned slowly, his eyes narrowing. "I know our fight was intense, but I want to talk. We need to understand each other better." Grak crossed his arms, his muscles tensing. "Why should I trust you? You humans have proven to be a challenge." "Because that's exactly why we should work together," Sarah replied, her voice steady. "We both have strengths and weaknesses. We can learn from each other instead of fighting." Zorak felt a wave of hope wash over him. If Sarah could convince Grak to open up, perhaps the door to a new alliance could be forged. The tension in the air began to dissipate, replaced by a sense of possibility. "Fine," Grak said begrudgingly. "But what do you suggest?" Sarah smiled, sensing a shift in the atmosphere. "Let's hold a series of discussions. We can talk about our cultures, our technologies, and even our ways of fighting. Understanding each other is the first step." Grak considered her words, then nodded slowly. "Very well, I will agree to this, for now. But if I sense any trickery, you will regret it." "Deal," Sarah said, extending her hand. Grak hesitated, then grasped her hand with surprising gentleness. As they shook hands, Zorak felt a spark of hope ignite in the crowd. The humans and aliens began to see each other as potential allies rather than enemies. Conversations began to flow, and people started sharing stories about their worlds. A human named Mark approached Grak, looking eager to learn. "What do you value in your culture?" he asked, curiosity shining in his eyes. Grak paused, surprised by the question. "Strength and honor," he replied. "We believe that power is what keeps us safe. It is why I am proud to be a warrior. And we value cooperation and innovation," Mark said, nodding. "We believe that working together makes us stronger, even if we are not the strongest physically." The discussion caught the attention of others, and soon, more humans and aliens gathered around. Zorak stepped forward, hoping to keep the momentum going. "Let's share our technologies," he suggested. "We can learn how to enhance our defenses and develop new methods for peace." Grak raised an eyebrow. "Your technology? What can you offer us?" The humans exchanged glances, their confidence growing. "We have advanced communication systems and strategies for resource management," Sarah explained. "We can share our knowledge to benefit both sides." The crowd buzzed with excitement. "Imagine what we could achieve if we combined our strengths," a human shouted, enthusiasm spreading like wildfire. As discussions continued, Zorak felt a sense of unity beginning to blossom. Aliens and humans shared laughter and stories, discovering common interests. They talked about their histories, their fears, and their dreams. Hours passed, and the once formidable divide between the two groups began to fade. They discovered similarities in their love for their families, their hopes for the future, and their desire for peace. Grak, who had once seemed so intimidating, began to laugh and share tales of his own upbringing. But deep down, Zorak knew that they were still at a crossroads. It would take time and effort to fully trust one another. They had to stay committed to their promise of cooperation. As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the grand hall, Sarah addressed the crowd. "Today, we took a step towards understanding each other. Let's not waste this chance. We have the power to shape our future together." Cheers erupted, a powerful wave of hope washing over everyone present. The humans and aliens were no longer enemies. They were allies in the making. Zorak looked around, feeling a profound sense of relief. The risks of provoking humans had turned into an opportunity for growth. With each conversation, each handshake, and each shared laugh, they were laying the foundation for a new alliance. Together, they would find common ground and strive for a brighter future, one where peace, cooperation, and respect reigned supreme.